What's up, guys? I'm out here on my V14 riding with the homies, Kyle, Andrew, and Caleb. Ripping around on this V14 fully kitted out by Grizzla, the seat, as well as the bumpers and pads. The pedals, those are from E-Rides. My gloves, E-Rides. The backpack, EUCs. The helmet, Vega Air GPX. That's Kyle right there. He's ripping around on his skateboard. We've got Andrew on his hyper scooter, his Nami Klima. And then we've got Caleb ripping around on his Extreme Bull Mini. So it was actually a pretty cool ride. Not too many people out on the trail, and we made sure to go wide whenever there was people out on the trail. And if you're interested in any of the stuff that I just mentioned, you can check down in the description and you will find it all concisely located and easy to navigate. Now, in my last video, we talked about a few things: black mold, some kind of stressful interactions, and some pretty cool interactions. And I had to field you guys because I honestly didn't even know what to make of the more stressful interaction after I had went back and evaluated the footage, because it was clear that the dude that had transgressed was really, he wasn't all there, clearly. I ride by this like this adult behavioral place every single day. It's pretty close to the kava bar that I make tea at, and I see people out there all the time at the bus stop, and they're all just being coached through life and how to, I guess, at some point become independent, or as independent as they will ever possibly be. So I say all that just to give you a little bit of like backstory as to why I'm so grateful for the feedback that I got from the community, because from my perspective, I was really sad that this dude was out here on his own and didn't have friends, and was being misunderstood because he was drinking alcohol, and oh my God, cry me a river. But see, I'm sensitive, guys. I'm very sensitive, so I really needed a little bit of help being able to just say, okay, I can actually separate from that. I don't have to try to own that. And every tragedy that happens in this reality, I don't have to try to own. So many times I try to do that, and it's hard, it's stressful, it never works out, and you don't get anywhere with it, because there's nothing, me being sad about this doesn't do anything. So, I appreciate everybody that weighed in. I'm happy that I did have some contemplation about it, that there was some reflection about it. I am ultimately happy that there was some reflection about it, but I'm grateful that I reached out to you guys, because, there was a lot of really, just level-headed perspectives that, helped me understand that, it's not my struggle, it's not my fight. Dude is out here, he presented how he presented, and it is what it is. I didn't come at him mean or anything, so whatever. I was just trying to figure out how to pass my dude. I passed him the camera, and I was like, oh man, I want to shake and bake. I want to have fun. I want to rip. Okay, I want to full on send. And to that end, I think I actually look a little goofy. Parts of this, I kind of look a little goofy. I have fun with it, but I was really trying to rip the tires off of the ground. And the thing is, he kept on capping out at 30 miles an hour, like 27 miles an hour. And so I had to keep on looking back at him, and I think that the footage would have looked a lot cooler if the camera was a little bit closer, but given the way that the camera is, it created this like really linear sort of perspective of what was happening, and so you don't really get as how dynamic the shifting of side to side was. It's not as nauseating, but it was just not as cool, I think. But just the same, I was super duper pumped to be able to get into the twisties on these sync pads. And guys, the amount of like lean side to side, how much I can bank with these pads is super duper sick, man. They're a little bit less wide than what the VCF pads were, so there's a lot more play between my legs. Giggity. So whenever I'm riding with the guys, that's what I imagine. Guys and gals. Because sometimes Tara will be coming out and ripping. And hopefully we'll have Priscilla soon. And hopefully we'll have Lauren soon now that the V8 is back up. So the V14, you'll see right there, the lights that I have on, that's the Grizzla SYNC lights, guys. They're absolutely awesome for the nighttime. Have a magical throw. That means they look for a long ways. They are bright for quite a while out in front of you. So we got a little skate park clip coming up. I really wanted to showcase these pads in as many different scenarios as I possibly could. And in this situation, not every single thing works out the first time, bro. You see, I went for a swim. And even if you think you landed it sometimes, you don't. And even if you got to that point in the trick, it doesn't mean anything until you actually stick the landing. And it feels so good. So out here, whenever I see people on the trails in abundance, then I always make sure that I get to the side and into the dirt. So whenever I'm doing these things, you guys don't often see, like, I see, you know, what's in front of me, but the way that I'll have the camera, sometimes you can't necessarily see what's in front of me. And even if the camera's in front of me, the way that it does its lens thing, you don't get a fair perspective of the depth of things. And that being said, you know, I always try to make sure that I give wide berth and I am as safe as I can possibly be. So people were also asking about the sync pads and how they felt seated. Whenever I'm riding with any pads, I do not like to hook my feet into them while I'm seated. The way that I have to contort my knees and my ankles, it just doesn't feel good. So I've always adopted this really cush sort of seated riding style where I put my heels at the front of the pedals, and in doing so, it's just probably my favorite seated way to ride. It's just really cush, really fun, really free, really flowy. So they work absolutely perfect for that, to me at least. Yo, my guy at Review This, Test That. Somebody out there, please get this man a grant. Looks like he's trying to get a non-profit started, EUC Freedom, to get veterans on EUCs to help with PTSD and depression. I think this can save lives, or, you know, that's what he says. I am absolutely with you 100%. So many times I've mentioned on my channel that EUC has gotten me out of my alcohol cycle, and it got me out of that alcohol cycle about 3.5 years ago. So it's been, you know, that long sober, riding free, clean, and feeling like Vaseline. I don't feel like Vaseline, but it rhymed, and I wanted to say it, and I'm just gonna throw it out there and see if it sticks. Like Vaseline. Curtisophagus, thanks for putting in the order, bro. And you're totally welcome. I'm happy that you managed to get your order in, and I know it was a little bit confusing with the time. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that they were gonna be releasing at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but, you know, they came out on Thursday, and for that I am absolutely grateful. Don't they look sexy up close, guys? I really wanted you to be able to see a lot more of the pads, so you're gonna see a lot of these low angles just so you can kind of get a feel for what they look like. And yo, you are totally welcome for the discount. I am so happy that people appreciate the 2-tier system that I came up with. Well, not that I came up with. I mean, it's available. So I was like, just do that, you know. It's available with Grizzla from, you know, in their affiliates program. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. The response has been overwhelming. It's been a while since I threw up a lot of these comment response sort of things, and I actually like doing it a lot. So that's why we're doing this. My favorite, probably one of my favorite comments came from Suni 002, and it says, Johnny, you're obviously a kind man, but you don't need to create an entire narrative for someone who was rude to you. We tend to project ourselves onto others, including our stories. Sometimes we feel sorry for others because we want others to feel sorry for us, especially if there's very little kindness in our lives. You don't know that man, and he doesn't know you. That's it. It's better to just leave it at that, because it's fair to both of you. The real challenge is learning to sit with our anxieties of not knowing. You may never know why that man yelled at you. Heck, maybe he doesn't even know himself. Maybe he's an a-hole. Maybe he's going through some stuff. Maybe he's the Dalai Lama. Who knows? If you can just allow yourself to swim freely in curiosity for a while, you can then detach yourself from very strong emotions. Unless emotions are exactly what you want to feel. LOL. Take care, buddy. That was a mouthful. When I first heard it, I didn't really know what to think. But I sat with it, and it gave me a little bit of levity. So I appreciate it. And thanks, guys, for being here. You know, I mean, I'm not a perfect person, and I'm just learning as I go. So, you know, here's to 41 more years of life, hopefully, if I'm lucky. And this is what the sync lights look like at night. They're pretty sexy, if I do say so myself. And with not much muss or fuss, I'm gonna wrap it up. Peace.